I'm about to spend the next 24 hours right here, and if all goes to plan, I'll be foraging for some wild food, exploring the area, checking out big old oak trees, and then tonight I'll be sleeping right here. So stay tuned until the end of the video to find out what I really get up to. It's turning into a bit of a CSI crime scene investigation. Where is it? Where is it? And that's probably where he lives. So I'm currently out exploring and I've come across this area with these really old trees. Most of the trees are oak trees. There's a few walnut trees, sweet chestnut, and also a few beech trees. So the trees here are incredibly old. Just look at the width. Look how wide this sweet chestnut tree is. How wide it is. Look at that. I have no idea how old one of these trees are. If you have any idea, let me know in the comments, but I reckon it's got to be over 100 years old. It's like almost 2 meters wide. So I'm staying out tonight, and the tools I have with me and the kit I have with me is the usual. I've got an axe, I've got my knife, and I've got a fire steel, otherwise known as a ferro rod. I've also got a survival blanket, a chopping board, and a fork. Why? Well, hopefully I'll find a bit of food to cook up. And then I've also got a sleeping bag, a frying pan, and as well as the survival blanket, I have this deer hide which I'll be laying on the ground so that I'll be keeping warm, as well as my dog keeping warm tonight, and hopefully it won't be raining. But the rain isn't all bad news, and that rain has certainly helped one species of wild food which I spotted earlier on, and that's the common field mushroom, which seems to be popping up all over the place at the moment. And this is what I'm after. This is a common field mushroom, and this is another smaller one right there, so I'll take that as well. So I've got a few mushrooms. What I'm now going to do is start building my shelter, and then I'll go out and forage for a few more mushrooms. A bit of firewood for tonight. Go on in. So I'm going to leave it like this for now, but I do have my survival blanket which I'll be placing on the floor. I'm tempted to drape, if it's long enough and wide enough, I'll drape it over the sides, put some weight on the top, maybe rocks or maybe some sticks. That way if it does rain tonight, it should at least run off the side of it and I'll be nice and dry with amber under here. Hey? The good thing about camping this time of year is that there's quite a lot of food in the wild. So I've got some larger wood for burning tonight. Now I just need some smaller, thinner wood to get the fire going. And these branches, these dead oak branches, super dry, wind dried, perfect for a fire. Oi. Try and split that in half. So what I'm doing here is I'm just splitting this root in half. And some of you might have seen some of my videos before where I've made cordage using root. You basically get the root, you split it in half, and it makes it much more pliable and it doesn't snap when you wrap it around your finger or your wrist. So I've got some large sticks, I've got some smaller twigs. All I need now is something to really help me out when it comes to lighting the fire. I'm looking for a silver birch tree which I can peel the bark off and use that to light the fire with my fire steel. And I'm also looking for something like a cramp ball fungus or a King Alfred's cake. They are a great fire lighting fungus. They grow on dead or struggling ash trees. And that's what I'm looking for. Basically anything that will help me to get my fire going. And I think right there, that's what we're after. That's what I'm after. Silver birch tree. It might be young, but the bark will be flammable. Well, that didn't take too long. It's all about knowing what trees to look for. Nah, I thought that was quite dry, and no, it's not quite dry enough. So we've got some bark. Now let's head back to the camp. Well, that mushroom is the right species, but it's not in very good condition. Now that is another really big oak tree. Just look how wide it is. It's just, how can a tree, I just don't get it. It's so wide. And the thing about this tree is that I think a bit of lightning or a storm must have taken off the top half of the tree many years ago. There's a few more mushrooms here. I don't know what species these are, and therefore I'm just going to leave them. I'm going to keep looking for the common field mushroom. I've got a feeling they might be horse mushrooms, but I'm not too sure. If anyone knows, please let me know in the comments. Check this tree out. Dead on top, but alive on the bottom. And it is a sweet chestnut tree. Right, so this spot is where I picked a mushroom before, and what I want to do now is I want to try and work out how long it takes these to grow. So I'm going to place my lens cover or my lens cap right there, and I'm going to come back tomorrow. In fact, well, I'm going to keep that shot there, and I'll come back tomorrow, put the lens cap there, and we're going to see how much this has grown overnight. And the reason why I'm doing that is because mushrooms grow extremely fast, and they can even double in size over a 24-hour period. And there we are, quick and easy, using the fire steel and the knife and a bit of silver birch bark. Well, it's pretty basic compared to what I normally cook when I'm out in the woods, and I think I might have overcooked the mushrooms, but it will do for tonight. So it's not quite big enough to drape over the front of this, but all I need it to do is keep the moisture away from me and Amber. So with that there, and then I've got my sleeping bag, and then that'll be it. That'll be it for the night. Perfect. Right. Oh, look at it. Made to fit. Right. Good thing is there's a good bit of overhang, and the forecast is that it should be dry overnight, so I should be alright in here. I'll have Amber lying right here. In fact, I'm going to move this deer skin out a bit, and then yeah, me and Amber can keep warm together, stay up for a little bit. I've got a cup of tea on the go. So I've just eaten, I've had a hot drink, and I've made my bed. What I need to do now is collect a bit more firewood for tonight. Nice bit of wood there. I'll take that for a bit of firewood. Nah, rotten, wet, definitely don't want that. And now I'm back at one of these oak trees. What happened to that? I have no idea. Oh, nice one there. Nice one there as well. Beauties. Well, that's got a little bit of red on it. I'll give that a miss. Keep that though. Check that guy out. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And then a sweet chestnut tree. But they're just too small. I have to wait another few weeks, I think. And I've just happened to have come across an apple tree. Have a look at this. Oh, what's going on with that? Anyway, I'll try the other side. That's so good. So if there's one thing I absolutely hate when I'm out camping, spiders. Yep, I'm one of those. So I found a bit of a ditch, and in this ditch it goes down and then it goes up, and then I found this here. That is an edible food, an edible wild food called ground ivy. Beautiful. If I knew that was there earlier, I would have collected a load of it, fried it up and thrown it in with my burger. Well, that's enough exploring for tonight. I do quite enjoy going out on a bit of a night hike, or you know, taking out the torch, going out and see what sort of creatures are about, because there's so many things out there that only come out at night time. Hey, right, so I'm gonna go to bed and I'll see you all in the morning. Oh, Amber. Yeah, so this is it. This is home for the night. Isn't it, Amber? Hey? Yeah, nice and warm. The good thing is the heat from the fire is being thrown into here, so it's actually nice and warm. Oh, Amber. She absolutely loves camping out, don't you? You love camping out, eh? Hey. You know what? It's not actually too bad. It really isn't too bad at all. It's like one of those sleeping pods you get in like Japan. Those little like I can only describe them as a sleeping pod. I've never been in one, but I've seen them on TV and on YouTube. But I can imagine this would be like one. Right. Well, that is it for the night. I will see you all in the morning. Hopefully it doesn't rain, but I'll let you know how I get on in about 8 hours from now. Good night. What? What was that? What was that? Where is it? Where is it? What was it? Oh, no idea what that noise was, but it was big. Might have been a badger or something. So now it's time for my breakfast. Well, good morning, folks. How did I sleep? Well, not too bad actually. So Amber's had her food and it's now time for my breakfast. So my breakfast is berries, and I've got a few apples that I picked last night. And if you're wondering how I slept, well, apart from waking up in the middle of the night to some strange noise, loud noise, quite heavy footsteps, but just like running slowly through maybe 5 or maybe 10 meters away, no more than 10 meters away. And it woke me up, woke Amber up. Yeah, apart from that, I had no idea what it was. I went out looking for it. No idea. Apart from that, I slept all the night, all the way through the night. Woke up this morning a little bit cold, little cuddle with Amber, yeah, but all in all, wasn't amazing, but it was a good night's sleep. Hey, did you sleep well? Were you a bit cold? Wasn't too bad, was it? And this was my pillow, my empty bag, well, with a few sharp edges in it, like a knife and an axe. But there's something about waking up in the morning to the sound of birds, a gentle breeze, and sunshine. I'll tell you what, that's exactly what it was this morning. Whew. Right, can I get my sleeping bag out? Hey, watch out. Come on. You've been on it all night, Amber. Well, I've got to admit, it's the first time I've ever used or even opened up a survival blanket. And it's probably better to be wrapped around you in a situation where you're cold or you've just come out of icy water, something like that. However, I use it just to keep the cold away from me and to keep the heat around me. And also keep the damp away because the floor is quite damp at the moment. So what do you do with one of these once they've been used? Do you just fold it up and keep it? I guess so. Okay, so now that I've packed away, I want to have a little explore of the area to see what else there is around here. And this is a huge tree from yesterday that has that hole in it, and there's a wasp nest right there. I'll tell you what I'd love to do, and that's an overnighter in that. But I'm just wondering, what do wasps do in the winter? Do they hibernate, or do they move out of their homes and then move on? I thought this was a mushroom, but it actually looks like an egg shell. Possibly, I don't know, possibly a pigeon? Who knows? But if you know, please let me know in the comments. Check this birch out. It's pretty much dead. And that bark is brilliant for fire lighting. If you think about how much bark I used last night to get the fire going, it was probably about that much. Now think about how many fires I can get going with that. Let alone if I was to collect all the rest of it. I've just found another apple tree. But I don't know if these are edible. They just look really dark. I've never seen these before. In fact, I'm just going to stick with the apples that I tasted earlier and last night because they were really good. Check out the size of this one. And there's a few more there. I've no idea what species they are, so I'm not going to touch them or eat them. And here's a few old elderberries. They're all dying off now. So I reckon within the next week or two, there'll be no berries left on this tree or this bush. And then there's loads of stinging nettles everywhere. These are great, you can actually eat these. I should have picked some of these leaves, fried them up with the mushrooms and put them into the burger as well. But the good thing about stinging nettles is not only are they edible, but you can also remove the outer bark or the outer fibres from the woody hollow stem, and that will give you cordage. Well, if you dry it out and twist it together, you can make cordage. And this is a bit of cordage I made last week using the same technique, but using bramble fibres. So I removed all the thorns from the brambles. I then dried out the fibres over the fire for about half an hour. I then twisted them together, and as you can see, everything locks together as you twist it. And what did I do with it? I ended up making a small loop to go over my spatula that I carved a few weeks ago. So long story short, you can do the same thing with nettle fibres. And this is where I think one of the badgers ran into or ran out of last night. You see all this soil is freshly kicked up, and that's probably where he lives. If not in there, then in there. Check this out. It looks like I'm not the only one eating apples. Something has eaten that and just left it under this bush. No idea what that could be. Quite small teeth marks, maybe a squirrel? Maybe a squirrel. Who knows? Hold on, it's turning into a bit of a CSI, crime scene investigation. I found hazelnuts. What eats hazelnuts? Squirrels. So surely it was a squirrel that ate that. Come then. Amber, look how dirty you are. Oh. Oh. Where's the stick? Get a stick. Look how dirty you are, Amber. Oh no. Dogs and mud. So that is the end of the video. I did try looking for that mushroom, but I think something's probably eaten it either early this morning or late last night. If you want to see more videos like this where I camp out in random places, or if you want to see me camp out in that big hollow tree, the only way to let me know is by liking the video and commenting below. On that note, see you next week. Goodbye.